Hello, visionaries. Welcome back to my channel. And if you guys are new here, welcome. And I have a special treat for you guys today. I have the one, the only model, supermodel, actress, activist, intellectual, the one and only Leyna Bloom. Thank you so much, babe, for coming onto my channel.
Hi, sis. How are you? Thank you so much for having me here. You look so
Yes.
beautiful.
Likewise, babe. You look gorgeous like always. I did want to have you on so we can get into all of the drama, all of the topics, all of the things on House on Fire on Wow Presents Plus on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you guys check that out. But yes, are you ready? Because I am going to be asking a couple of questions. We are going to take a trip down memory lane on episodes 1 through 5. So I hope you are ready. Are you guys ready out there? That's the question.
Y'all better get ready.
Okay, we're gonna make it hot, darling, and just keep. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna ask you some uncomfortable questions, very real, authentic questions. I know I have a relationship with you, but I have to ask you from a viewpoint that I am just watching the show as a viewer. So
Yeah,
we have to talk to you in that type of way. So
I
let's
respect
take a
it.
trip down. Let's take a trip down memory lane. We're gonna go with episode number 1.
That night at the Mugler ball, there was someone in the house saying some shit about me, why I'm so mean, saying, "Oh, I'm a butch queen. I'll get out of this to whoop your ass." Like that level of non-safe space in the house really bothered me. I will always have a love and support for Miyake Mugler. I mean, it is the epitome of everything that I live by, and I would love to die as a Miyake Mugler.
Are you trying to come back to Mugler? Is that what you're trying to do? Where we at? That's what we doing.
She also expresses she wants to come back.
So before we get into what the house has to say during this little dinner setting, tell me a little bit about before you left this time. Like, tell me about that. Like,
Yeah.
give the audience some more, depth and color into what happened, how you got in, why you left.
So, how did I get started in the house of Miyake Mugler? When did the chapter officially first start? So, it started back in 2015, and I was coming off on a hiatus from just taking a break from ballroom to work on me to focus on my modeling career. And I got a call by this stylist that I worked with by the name of Assad Mugler, and we had worked together on a project, and he was like, "When are you going to come back? You should come and get this money, come and compete." And I was like, "Oh no, I think I need to take I'm enjoying where my career is right now. I had just did a magazine cover. I was really, really working in the fashion world. I was emerging as a model. And I was like, I don't want to mix the two of modeling and ballroom. And it took me a while to really think about it after he gave me the opportunity. Like, he was like, he was like, I want you to meet Yusuf. And I was like, who is Yusuf? At this time, I didn't know a lot about the different houses. Like, I took a break for 5 years, so I didn't know what was the current events of like what's happening in the ballroom scene. And I know before I left for my hiatus, I knew Mugler was like the house. It was a fashion house, it was a face house, and I knew it was that club, that look, that vibe, that it was that. And I was like, okay, cool, like this house is legit. But Mugler was kind of in this, like, all houses go through this when they have like their high moments and their low moments. And Mugler was
Yes.
kind of like in a place of like just kind of stagnant, and they needed like a rebirth. And that was the words that people were telling me, that was like that I was still friends with from the scene. They was like, oh yeah, like, what house are you gonna come back to? Like, I was like, Mugler seems like a really nice house. And they was like, yeah, they've been like really, ever since the whole house being split to Garcon, they've been kind of like, just floating on by. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, and then Assad was like, Yusuf, he works in the industry, he works in fashion, he is the hairstylist to the stars, he is Rihanna's like hair guru. He's like done all her covers, all her Vogue covers, all everything that Rihanna has done, he's done it. And I'm like, I love Rihanna. I'm like a huge fan of hers. I'm, like, I want to work more in fashion. I need more exposure. And it was very tantalizing, but I was also kind of like if I come back to the house or come back to any house, like, am I going to be a mother? You know, am I just going to be a regular, you know, a regular zegular, you know, kid in the house? And I was like, or
Mhm.
should I come back as, an overall mother? And the thing is, the house that I came from before, which was the House of Allure, they offered me an overall mother position. And that was on the table, and that was always on the table. And also, that house was looking to just come back to the scene, and I needed another bad
Right.
to like come and like take it to the next level. And it was other houses also that was interested. The house of, I think, YSL Saint Laurent, they
Mhm.
also were coming, they were developing, they was also offering me an overall position. Also the House of
So
Extravagance.
this was before Michelet became overall mother
Yes,
then? This is
they
all
had.
but so keep in mind, you guys, this is mid to 2010s. You know what I'm saying? 2015, 2016, right?
No, this was like, I think the House of Allure closed down in 2000. Yeah, around 2010, 2000 thing. But the offers started coming to me to come to different houses was like around 2000 and like 13,
Right.
14,
Okay.
15.
I wanted you guys to get the time frame. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't like last year or 2 years ago. It was
no.
the early
This,
2010s.
yeah, and so it was House of Extravaganza, it was House of Saint Laurent, it was House of Allure, and then was House of Mugler. So I had all. It's like getting all these contracts. Which one are you going to choose? Which one
Mhm.
takes the best? Which one sounds better? Which one works better for like me and like where I'm at in my life? And where I was at in my life is like being an emerging model trying to get exposure. This is before the whole trans revolution. This is before non-binary was created. This was before where representation and diversity really hit the waves.
Right.
And I was coming off this magazine cover called the Candy First Transversal magazine, and I was like, let me just have a meeting with you guys. Like, I'm in New York City, you guys are both in New York City, like, why not meet with you guys? Like, I want to meet this guy, I want to give him his flowers, I want to tell him like congratulations as a Black man working in the fashion. It's very rare. So, I just want to be, at least say that I met him and know that, if I ever need that resources, it would be available, to build it
Right.
some type of whatever to be. And I had a casting on Fifth Avenue, and they were like, hey, if you're around Fifth Avenue, we're shopping in the area, can you meet at the restaurant at the Armani store on Fifth Avenue? And they have a restaurant like on the top floor. And I was like, okay, cool. So it wasn't like I was at a house meeting and it was like all these executives and all these pioneers and everybody was
Mhm.
voting me in. It was Assad, it was Yusuf. We're meeting like meeting style, business style through lunch hour times. And we met, and you know, I was like, hey, what's up? Chopped it up. How are you? It was like, hey, there's a ball coming up next week. It's the latex ball. We would love if you would come out as a Mugler. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, like I'm a little bit unprepared. I like to wait. I like to get ready at least 3 to 4 months in advance. I
Right.
don't really want to just be thrown out there and I haven't really walked the ball in 5 years. And it was like, no, we already have an outfit for you. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I have a whole look. We got Yusuf's gonna do your hair. We're gonna get this makeup artist to do your face, and you're gonna be good. You don't gotta worry about anything. And I was like, oh, so I don't gotta get myself ready. Okay, cool. I'm going to this. You guys are bringing me like a great package, and I was like, okay, so this is the only thing that I want. I want to be overall mother of the house of Miyake Mugler. And it was like, oh, okay. Well, we don't know if we're ready to. We don't just give that to just anyone. I was like, well, I'm not anyone. Like I have all these
Mhm.
houses that are interested in me being overall mother. Like, I don't know how to be a chapter mother. A lot of chapter mothers are not really respected, especially at that time. And I was like, if I'm an overall mother, that will give me the responsibilities to like have power in the house and also learn how to be a great mother and be in the position where I can actually do a really good job. And they was like, well, how about you just be a chapter mother, and then after a few years, we'll see how you are. And then we might, we might offer you the opportunity to be over a mother. And I was just like, I just had this magazine come out. I was like literally hitting the waves. I was like, I need more exposure. Let me just see what this is. Let me give me some time to think about it. So like 48 hours passed. Assad is like literally hitting me up. He was like, so what do you want to do? Like, are you going to do it or not? And I was like, you know what? Why not? It's been 5 years since I've been in the ballroom scene. Y'all already got my look together. Y'all know I want to be overall mother. That's the plan for this, is to be overall mother. I'm going to start off as a chapter mother. Teach me how to do this. And, let's see what happens. And let's just have fun. You know what I mean? So I didn't come on the pretense of being voted in. I came on the pretense of this was kind of like a business decision for the House of Miyake Mugler. This wasn't a
Right.
traditional, family oriented situation. And you see that in the episode when it was like, oh, we went against all, we went behind everybody's back to do this. Like,
Right.
they brought me in as a star. They brought me in as a self-made woman that already had a name for herself, and they needed to kind of have a rebirth. And I was their rebirth. And that's essentially what it was for me to come into the ballroom scene at the time. Like, Femme Queen Face was kind of like slow at the time. The house was slow at the time. Once I hit the fucking floor, it was like an homage of the old school girl. She reminds me of like
Yeah.
Octavia and,
Mhm.
the girls back in the day and, Moldavia and Tracy Africa. And I kept, I came back to the house. I was winning, but at the same time, I didn't get a chance to meet any of the members. I didn't get a chance to like sit down and connect with them. And it wasn't because it was just my fault. It was because one, I was really busy as a model. I was really like I was traveling, I was out of the country, I was booked and busy. So I couldn't really be at every single meeting and every single rehearsal and be available when there was events or when there was meetups and meet and greets and da da da. And when I was available, they never listened to me. They never like when I spoke up, when I asked questions, when I said this is what you guys should do. No one ever listened to me. So the relationship was it was a business relationship that was very sour from the beginning because the camaraderie of the house experience wasn't available for me because I wasn't available and also because I was just on a business kind of contract to be in the house.
Right.
And that's the real truth about it. So when the people in the house are like saying like, oh, she's a bitch, or oh, she's not at any balls, or she's not mentoring anyone, this is the reason why. Because like, sweetheart, like as a Black trans woman working in fashion, this is the first of its kind. This is the first time we're getting opportunity. This is the first time we're going to castings and going to photo shoots, and we're learning the language. And was I going to choose that, or was I going to choose ballroom? Something that I already dedicated so much of my life already to since I was a teenager. So I chose modeling over
Yeah.
ballroom.
Right.
And I walked balls, I won, I traveled, they got me together some balls. And at the end of before I left, the last 3 years, I was getting myself ready. I was in a position, I was like, I thank y'all for getting me ready, in the beginning, but like this last few years, I wanna pick my outfit. I wanna choose the balls I wanna go to. I'm gonna pay for it myself. I'm gonna work with the designers to create my own look. And at the time, Chanel was not in the house. Brooklyn was not in the
Right. Because
house.
this is all before you left.
Yeah.
Right. This is all before you left. So who was overall mother when you were getting propositioned to be in the house at that
No
time?
one. There was no overall mother at the
Right.
time.
Okay. So I was trying to, because this was even before Exotic was
Yeah,
overall mother.
this is
Got you. Okay.
Exotic
Got
became overall mother. Actually, it's so crazy. I thought I was gonna get that overall position because I kept winning and I kept
you.
showing people that I
Mhm.
am a winner. And back in the day, like we were the trophy mothers. There was
Yeah,
not a lot of work.
yeah, it was
There-
Trophy Mothers, it was Trophy, but
I
you know what, I will say this, each house runs itself differently, and I
true.
know that the House of Mugler specifically, from what I understand, is that they always like to upgrade members that are already in their houses, but they made a special they did special treatment for you
Yeah.
specifically to be even just a chapter mother, because they don't really just give that away like that, from what I understand.
Yeah. I've never played second best. I've always been
Yeah.
first place. And that's always the role I've always wanted to have.
Mhm.
And I think the fact that also I had no one to even to mentor me, or I didn't have anyone to look up to in the house that was like a motherly figure, because there was no motherly figures in the house when I was into the house. There was no they gave me a role and they didn't even teach me what my role was. They didn't tell me what my responsibilities were. It was like, you're a winner, you're winning outside the ballroom scene, you're winning inside the ballroom scene, just keep winning for us and making sure our house look good. You know what I mean? And that's what I did.
So wait,
That's
do you think that the House of Mugler only cared about what you did on the floor only, and what you can contribute on there? Because from what I'm gathering, it just seems like that's what they only wanted you to do, and that was your only requirement.
this. Femme queens in any house, they are
Mhm.
literally the stars. They
Right.
just
No,
want them to
I
come
hear you.
out and just be a star. That's
Yeah.
essentially what it was. And but for me, they wanted me to be the star, and they also wanted me to mentor. They also wanted to be like, and that's essentially what I should have been doing, but I was not available. You know, I'm an emerging young, ingenue in the fashion world, and I need to be present at the castings and the photo shoots. And in Paris, I wasn't available. And typically, a lot of trans folks who are in the ballroom scene, they're available. They don't have a lot of resources. We didn't have a lot of resources. And so my situation was very different because I wasn't just like hanging out or chilling around, or I was super available. I was not available. And Yusuf should know that because he wasn't always available because he was with Reed traveling around the world doing Reed stuff. You know what I mean? And
So
I
so
thought,
so now so with that point, I do wanna say something about that point, what you just said right now. So why is it, let's just play devil's advocate, right? Because, like I said, I'm gonna ask you some questions that might be like, okay, well, kind of ruffle a little bit.
"Oh,
So why is it that Yusuf has a different outlook on himself and you? You see what I'm saying? Because you guys both traveled, you guys both did your thing in the industry. You guys were super busy because he was, and I know that you were doing your thing with campaigns and modeling and all this stuff. Yusuf definitely doing some hairstyling on Re and celebrities, and he traveling. I get it. You guys were both. So why is it, do you think, in your words, that he has a different outlook on him and his personality and his style of parenting or as an individual versus you?
because he's in a position of power and what he says goes because he's a Leo, and because and no one can come between what he wants, and that's how it is. He can go and go on tour for 6 months and be with Ree and pop up and do a ball in New York City and then leave back and go to do the same thing. But for me, it wasn't like that. It was like, oh, you need to like be available so the kids can get the mentorship and stuff like that. It's just like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just honestly like, it's just hard for femme queens or female figures in the industry because you're always being told what to do or under the direction of a butch queen who thinks that they know it all.
Mm. Mm,
And that's
mhm.
basically what it is. And not only is it just one butch queen, but it's two butch queens, mother and father.
So wait, question. Do you like the fact that there is a male as a mother role in the house?
To be honest with you, like me and Exotic both talked about this so many
Mhm.
times about him becoming the father and me becoming the mother. And that was
Mm.
the plan. That was the original plan.
Oh,
And we was going to be this Barbie and Ken House of Miyake Mugler image of
mhm.
like of just a dynasty, a legacy of Mugler, and that's the image of what it was going to be. And that was going to be, we lusted over that idea, and that's what
Mhm.
I signed up for. Mind you, I knew Andre since I was like, when I first started
Young.
walking balls in
Yeah, you guys were young.
2007, when we first
Right.
started walking balls, that's
Yeah.
when I first
Yeah,
met
yeah.
him. And when I first met him, I just looked at him as like the Tyson Bedford of like the ballroom world. And I'm like the fucking Naomi Campbell of the modeling world. And we're just gonna do our photo shoots and campaigns and take over ballrooms together and do team face. And I don't know, I had so much in store for us. I had so many dreams for us that happened. And then when they made him overall mother, I didn't want to be a hater. He
Right.
deserved it. He was in the scene for you longer
Mhm.
than I was. And, Yusuf was not about to give up his spot. So they just made him overall mother. And I was a little over it after a while because I thought that was the agreement that we had.
Mm.
But I could not.
Have they sat down and talked to you about, like, that, like, especially during that time? Because I know obviously there's no point of doing it
I
now,
don't
but,
know if
like,
they.
have they
No,
watched did you want that? Would you have wanted that? Do you want that? Like, just to kinda, like, because it's always stuff in the back of your mind just to, like, put a period on the end of that chapter and that story and that time, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So, like, would you still want that just for clarity? Like, just to put peace to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, "Okay, I get it." Like, not like you're mad or anything because you don't care, but it's just like,
yeah.
would you?
I mean, for me, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to come to this house in Miyake, Mugler. Andre, who is my brother, who I love to death, is in this house, and I'm coming off the pretense that one day I'm going to be overall mother.
Mm,
And, and then when it happened that he became overall mother, he was still my friend. Yusuf was still my brother, and I was still a fucking supermodel trying to fucking work outside the ballroom scene. And, at the time I was just like, whatever, it is what it is. I guess I'm gonna be overall, mother of New York City forever. But it was just it was just I couldn't gamble it all. I couldn't gamble. I couldn't balance it all. You know what I mean? It was all a gamble, and I do feel like if I would have came into the house when I came into the house as an overall mother, and they would announce Leyna Miyake Mugler, overall mother of the House of Miyake Mugler, I think I would have taken that role seriously. I would have taken being overall mother seriously, and that would have changed the trajectory of like my life. It would change the trajectory of my ballroom career, and it would make me a little bit more like, wow, this is a huge position, and I have a huge opportunity to do something different that no other mother has ever done. And one thing about me is I love challenging myself. As you can see, that's why I became so successful, because I've challenged myself, and I
yeah.
would have challenged myself like that, but I never got the opportunity. And I really feel like sometimes I always felt like maybe they just got me because I was just that girl, and they wanted to have me so no one else had me. So no one else can have me, you know? And a lot of
Well,
people do that. It's like we want to get her so no one else can have her, but when we have her, we're not going to do anything with her, but just make sure that she keeps winning for us, and making sure our name stays out there front and center, and people know that we got the top bitch at the time. You know what I mean?
right,
So
no, I get you, I understand, but it just kinda makes me not sad, but it just makes me feel like, "Oh," like, I just feel like now, just for clarity purposes, I'm like, maybe they should sit down with you and just have that conversation, especially now that you're saying it, like, it's just kinda like, just to put that period to the end
I
of
think
that
they would
story.
laugh at me. I think they would laugh at me in my
You
face.
think so?
I
I don't
do.
think you
I
should
really,
because your feelings are valid with it, it's just how you guys communicate with each other should be the main
girl,
thing.
they don't care about different queens and what they feel. You know
Oh
how
my
many meetings I have went to, and I have voiced my opinion, and they literally was like, "Okay, cool. Next answer." Or who else has
I
something to
would but
say?
I would hate that. See, because me knowing Andre, well, Exotic, that he just really loves his girls and his femme queens, I'm just it just doesn't kinda register to me with him not allowing you to have a say or some type of power or some type of thing that would kinda like,
I think
make
they
people
know
listen.
that I have so much power, and I have so much intelligence, and I have so much pull, but they're not going to give me all of that power to have, to dominate the legacy of Miyake Mugler, to say like Lena is overall mother, and she's a fucking supermodel, and she's a fucking actress. Like it's us as queer folks, as Black queer folks, when we see one person in our community winning, we instantly hate each other, or hate them, or are haters, or are jealous. Not a lot of us are like, congratulations, good job. Like, I'm rooting for you. I'm reposting you. I'm going to share you. It's very much like how does she get, who does she think she is? Like, it's a Black thing, it's a Latin thing, it's a queer thing. It's unfortunate that the whole fucking system has set up us to not, they set us up to not celebrate each other. They designed a system that we were not supposed to even be at this level in. You know what I mean? So it's just it's really really fucked up. And if you really think about it, like, it goes deeper than what it really is. But I love my house, Miyake Munglair, but it's just unfortunate because these are the things that no one knows. No one knows
Yeah,
my true story. No one knows
yeah,
what happened to
yeah,
me.
'cause I didn't even know this. That's interesting,
Yeah, I
and
mean, maybe I should have went to the House of Extravaganza. Maybe should have been the House of Allure and brought a whole new generation of ballroom workers to the House of Allure. Maybe I should have been a Saint Laurent. You know what I mean? Because they offered me it before they offered it to Michelet. And, I could have took it and I could have done something else with it. But I wanted to be a Mugler because my brother Andre was in the house, because London was in the house, because the house had a legacy that Whitney used to be in a house. I wanted to be part of that legacy. I wanted to be embedded into that. I didn't want to start something over or pick up something that was lost. I wanted to just kind of like continue going with the mission. And that's what I signed up for. And it's unfortunate that over the course of the 5 years of me being in a house before I end up leaving, that I worked my ass off to get my name out there, to continue being that bitch. And I was still just in the background, not being heard. Even when we have these conference calls, I would say something and no one would listen. No one would hear me out. No one would. And I brought valid things to the table. I was like, I want to help the girls in the house. We should do this. This is what you should not be doing. No one listened to me. No one took it. No one took it, took it seriously. And I was like, y'all don't give a fuck about what I think. Y'all think I'm just a pretty face and I should just sit back and be quiet and just come out and walk balls and just sit the fuck down and just be a trophy wife. Like, I'm showing you that I want to do something more. I want to be more involved. And it's a dominating butch queen experience, and this is what happens when you're dominating a butch queen experience that was made for femme queens. We don't have a voice, we don't have a say so, and we're merely just literally trophies of the house. And I don't want to be a fucking trophy. I have a brain, I have a heart. I'm using this in my modeling career, I'm using this in my activism. Why can't I use this in my ballroom community? And that's the reason why we're having so many issues right now in ballroom, and that's why so many trans women that I come from ballroom don't want to come back or don't want to participate in ballroom anymore because of this exact reason. And instead of fighting with them, we fight with each other. And that's why I left the house, is because I'm getting myself together, I'm winning. And of course I look fucking amazing because this is what I do every single day. This is not something I just pick up for a ball. This is something, I'm going to photo shoots every day. I'm seeing high-end designer, haute couture, atelier every day, getting things sewn into me. So I'm in conversations with the designers, the stylists, the hair and makeup. So I have access to these resources. So it's easy for me to get ready. And these girls think like, oh, Yusuf is getting all this shit together and everybody's getting all this shit to me together and they're setting this all up for me. No, I bring them a vision board, a literal vision board. I'm searching through the internet, Googling, Tumblr. I'm putting things together and I'm sitting like, this is what I'm going to create. You don't got to worry about me. If you want to help, this is what I need help with. But other than that, I got it. I'll pay for my flights. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for my ticket. I'll pay for my entry pass. Do you need help? What do you need help with? And the thing is, a lot of girls look at me and they're already threatened by me because, oh, she's a supermodel. Oh, because she's light-skinned. Oh, because of colorism. Oh, because she's skinny. Oh, because she's cis-passing. Oh, because she's the chosen one. All these fucking things that that I was born as, that I used as an advantage to get opportunity because I was not going to waste my beauty. I was not going to waste what God gave me. And people are like pointing at me like, oh, I'm going to fuck that bitch up. Who the fuck she thinks she is? Who do you think you are, Leyna, that you can come here and be that girl? And like, we can't be that girl either. It's just like, look, sweetheart, I didn't ask to be chosen by the chosen. I was just born here and I'm doing the best I can. And why you hating me for the blessings I was blessed doing? Like, get your blessings up, work on your look, work on your aesthetic, work on your drag, work on your vibes. And, I that's what I dealt with. And I just got tired of it. I got tired of people threatening me. And the Mugler ball, the last Mugler ball is actually when the shit went down. I had came in my look. I had my glam team with me. I had my man with me. I had my assistants with me, and they were all getting me ready for come out for our big grand march. And they see me done from head to toe, look like a outfit coming out the damn museum. I paid $4,000 for that whole look from head to toe, and the designer was right there. And just mad as that I have my whole entourage with me, and they're like, "Oh, they got her together. No one got us together, sweetheart." Like, why are you mad at me? And then I leave the ball and people are fighting with each other, talking about that Leyna. I hate that. She always got a added trouble. Who the she thinks she's. When I come in this room, I speak to everyone. I say hello to everybody. I say, oh, here's my number. Text me if you want to hang out, if you need anything, if you need any mentoring, if you need any resources. Here's my hit me up, call me. Nobody calls me. Literally crickets. So this girl two girls, mind you. Okay, it was this one girl who came from. It's two girls from Canada. I don't know their exact names. They came from Canada. And I guess one of the girls was like this huge fan of mine. It's like, oh my God, I want to be a model like Leyna. She's my idol. I love her. Like, I want to be just like her when I grow up. Girl, be yourself, first off. Two, be inspired by me, yes, but be yourself. And I came to the rehearsal before the Mugler ball where they were getting ready for all the choreography and stuff. As soon as I walk in, I go to everybody. I say hello to everyone. I look at you in your eye. I say, hey babe, what's up? How are you? Give me a hug. How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I keep it light because I gotta talk to everybody. I'm like, they're getting ready for their choreography. I'm getting my pointers. No one's listening to me. You guys should do it like this. This is how you guys should do it. No one's listening to me. I'm like, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna sit in the back. No one's gonna listen to me. And she didn't get her opportunity to have a fangirl moment. She didn't get her opportunity to get a photo and a selfie and get a mentorship at that time. And I guess that hurt her. And we get to the ball and I'm done. I'm done from head to toe. I'm there looking like ready to go to the mother Grammys or to the Golden Globes. And these girls, they coming in with their rainbow looks and they mad at me looking at themselves. They see my fine ass man next to me, helping me, holding my dress. They was like, and they're just of envy. And then one of the girls is like, she was like, oh, you didn't give my daughter, she wants to be a model. She's pretty. Also, you should mentor her. No, that's your job to mentor her. If she wants to be mentored by me, she can DM me. She can come up to me. She can tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Leyna, I love you. I think you're an amazing. I would love if you can give me some advice and supporters. Absolutely. Yes, I will give you advice. Here's my number. Text me tomorrow. Call me. Let's do it. Let's chop it up. Did she ever do it? No, she didn't. She never did it. And to this day, she still never did it. So her mother is a drag queen. She's not a trans girl. She's not one of the girls. She wants to be one of the girls. You know what I mean? Like,
So wait, is the daughter trans?
the daughter's trans.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And the mother is a butch queen up in drags. And the butch queen up in drags basically says, I will get out of drag and I will mop that bitch. I will beat her. I will cut her face. I will fight her. Exotic is standing right there. He see the whole thing.
What did he say?
Girl, what does Exotic always do? He waits to all the shit happens and he sits back and he's like, wait, you guys, you need to stop. Don't do that. Like, I'm not gonna have it. No, 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 no. Yusuf was there,
Yeah,
it would
no.
never happen.
Not at all.
I think Exotic, he is a great mother figure, but he doesn't know how to handle the femme queens like he can handle the butch queens. I think he's too much trying to be sweet and nice and da 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 da. And I love that for him. You know what I mean? But I just really felt like I'm your sister. I'm not just your sister, but I'm your friend outside of ballroom. Like, some of us are just friends in ballroom, and some of us are actually like vibing with each other outside of that. And I just really felt like he should have stood up for me, and he didn't stood up for me. And maybe he did, but I wasn't there. I heard this through everybody that was calling me, texting me, messaging me, like, oh, Leyna, are you still here? No, I left. They was like, oh my God, this girl is like, she's throwing a tantrum. She's breaking things. She's yelling. She's screaming. She's having a tantrum. She's causing all these ruckus behind the stage and saying like, oh, her, Leyna. She made my daughter feel some type of way. She was a big fan, da 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 da. And I'm like, it's coming back to me through the grapevine. The next day, I'm getting all the highlights. And I'm like, what the is going on with this girl? Like, I've never had a conversation with this girl in my entire life. First of all, she's a whole butch queen up in drags. And no shade to the butch queen up in drags, but it's just like, you're not even a femme queen. You're not even a trans girl. Like, we're in two different lanes, sis. You get out of drag. This is me 24 hours a day since I've been 14 years old. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she literally was trying to threaten my body and trying to harm me and saying that she would get out of drag and beat me up as a boy while I got a whole between my legs.
Child. Woo! We're gonna get into that because baby, that was a whole lot. I hope you guys took all that in, honey. Because baby, Leyna Bloom. is blooming tonight, darling. Woo! Here we go. Let's go. This is still episode number 1. Here we go.
House? What house? This house. No. From what I heard, don't speak on what you heard. Yeah, because I only speak on what you experienced, not on what you heard.
Period.
Leyna.
That part.
She was like a trophy mother. Like, no shade. She didn't really do like, no shade. Like, I'm just being real. Like, y'all are part of the problem. Y'all created a monster within Leyna. Like,
Nobody dressed her up. Leyna showed up as Leyna Bloom. Nobody was dressing her up. Leyna was taking the initiative to make those things happen for herself. Now, as a mother, and I let her know that from beginning all the way to the end.
So with all of that we just seen right now, obviously Yusuf backed that up with saying that, you pretty much got yourself together majority of the time, right? So like that's a narrative that you guys painted for themselves, right? So I'm glad that he cleared that up, because there was a lot of people that thought that the House of Mugler just did everything for you.
No.
And so so I'm glad that they cleared that up. Also, how do you feel about Chanel's comments in that segment?
First off, me and Chanel have never met up one-on-one and talked. Me and Chanel never had a girlfriend. Like how me and you, when I was in LA, we hung out a few times. We vibed out. We went out to eat. We chopped it up. We talked about our dreams and stuff like that. Me and Chanel have never done that before. I met Chanel. She told me that we met in Chicago in Boys Town when we were walking down the street. Maybe I met her as a butch queen, but I've never met her as a female figure. Because if I would have met her as a female figure, I would have remembered, because she's so beautiful.
Right.
But as a butch queen, I probably met her. She said that we met each other. I've never met her before. And I followed her on Instagram trying to get to know her. But the thing is, I want to be honest, Chanel posts like the most X-rated, sexy, high, sexy, like I'm following like high-end designers, stylists. Like my feed looks like a resume for like an inspiration board or vision board. Right. Like when I open my phone, like it's literally fashion week. What's this is here? What's that? And I'm seeing her doing X-rated stuff, and it's like very high sexual stuff. I'm a little turned off a little about it, but I'm still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. And when I left the house, I unfollowed everyone. And when I say I followed everyone, I unfollowed Yusuf, I unfollowed Chanel, I unfollowed Roz, I unfollowed Tati, I unfollowed everybody in the house.
Right.
Mark, Nigel, David, the overseer. Only person that I kept in the house on my friend list was Exotic. That is all. Because that's the only person I had a real serious connection with that was not problematic. Also, to go back a little bit, the night when everything went down at the Mugler bar, when I was getting all the hate, I was calling Yusuf. He never returned none of my calls. He never returned none of my text messages. He didn't
even after the day after?
He didn't return anything. I'm calling him like, yo, what's going on? You need to handle this. You need to check these girls. You need to let these girls know that that's not okay. He never called me back. He never called me. And I'm calling him, leaving him text messages. And I'm like, if you don't handle this situation, I'm going to handle it. And the way I'm going to handle it is going to be like, I'm done. And that's what happened, basically. But back to Chanel. Chanel, sweet girl, sweet, always been very, I just love her energy. I don't know if you ever met Chanel, but when you meet her, she comes in the room and she has this beautiful ray of just like happiness, of like big, beautiful, just you want to hug her, you want to lay your head on her titties, you want to like talk to her about anything. She just is a beautiful girl. She just has so much potential. I told her, like, there's curve models out there named Precious that are fucking Paloma. They're out there killing the runway for the Versace runway. That's you for the trans girls. You need to get out there and do that. She never took it seriously. You know, that's why I don't give advice to a lot of these girls, because they don't take my advice. But what she said.
So when she says, Leyna.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I mean, you don't know me, so how can you say that? You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, why do you really say Leyna? What is about Leyna that fuck? Outside of, you know what happened to me. You know that I left the house because some girl was doing Why didn't you call my phone and say, yo, sis, I heard what happened. Are you okay? What happened? Tell me what's going on. Do you need me to call her? I know this girl. That's my sis. I will figure this out. Did she do that? No, she didn't. So why me? You for not calling me and checking on me if we were building a new relationship. What was the exact word she said? We were building a miniature relationship. We wasn't
Oh yeah,
building.
we're gonna get into that in a little. We're
Yeah.
gonna definitely get into
But,
that one.
but back to like what you were saying. Like I don't know why she said that. Like, you know what I mean? Leyna, you don't even know me. You don't know anything about me. And then Brooklyn little skinny is right there talking about no, she not coming back to the house. You don't even know who I am. You don't know me from a grain of salt, and you don't know me at all. And you're already saying me. Like you're following what other people said. Oh, what other people said. Where's your own sense of self? Where's your
Yeah.
own mind? Where's your own like? I don't know her, so I'm not gonna judge her. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
not
I
many.
get it. I
Yeah,
get it. I get it with the Brooklyn situation. Now, maybe I can understand with the whole Chanel thing, because obviously since she's stating that she says that she knows you, or that she's been around you or whatever.
Chanel does not know me. Our first time ever sitting down and having a cocktail was episode 3.
And
Back at the night of your ball, when me and Naja came out, it was barely anybody there to root us on. However, but when Leyna came out, it seemed like the whole house was there. Like, no shade. And I get it. It's a moment. She in the club. She the hot girl. I totally get it. However, that's not fair.
I want to just tell you that Leyna having the idea of coming back to this house is something that I don't feel 100% about, and I just want y'all to know that. I'm not ready for Leyna to come back to the house.
Now, hearing those words coming out of Yusuf's mouth, first thoughts.
I honestly, he has every right to be nervous about me coming back to the house. He has every right. Me and Yusuf have a very, very beautiful relationship. We talk about fashion. We talk about everything from movies. When I have new contracts coming in and when I didn't have representation, I will always send it to him. He will always look over it and tell me like, this is what you should do. This is how you should handle it. When you go into a meeting, this is what you need to say. Like, I love Yusuf. It hurt me that he said that, but he has every right to, he's a little hurt. You know what I mean? He's hurt a little bit that, those years of us building a relationship together and for me to just leave like that, and he's still scarred even probably to this day from that. And he, one thing about Leos and one thing about him is he work in the industry. So he know how people are and he know that it's hard to trust people and he has every right to have his guard up. But at the same time, like, when Chanel mentioned like that night when I was in the top, it's like, look, sweetheart, like I've been preparing for this ball for 3 months. I pay for everything in cash. And my look, I'm coming out in a tub.
Right.
Who would ever think of some shit like that?
Right,
You know
because
what I mean?
that was the ball she was pertaining to.
Yeah, that ball when I was in the tub, when I came out in the tub. Sweetheart, like look at I'm naked.
Right.
Coming out in the tub and subs are on my whole body. I'm bringing a huge, big old.
It was a moment. It was a moment. When you think
Why are
of
you mad
ballroom
about my
moment,
moment, girl? You didn't bring your moment, girl. You didn't bring your moment.
I
That's what didn't go up for you because you was not in the
100%
tub.
agree with you. 100% agree. It was a ballroom moment that future femme queen face girls will probably try to recreate. You got to create moments and looks to be relevant, right? Moments, looks, and times and battles, right? That's it. And rivalries. I get all that. 100% totally can see what you're saying. But do you see where Chanel is coming from as well, though? If you was in her shoes, and obviously she didn't have that moment that you had, right? Like with the whole tub and the whole production of it all and the fabulosity of what's going on, and for her to walk the same category, right? Because she walked the same category, correct?
Yeah.
For her to feel and see that she just didn't get the same amount of camaraderie and applause and cheer from the house, do you see why she said that?
Yes, I can definitely see why she said that. You know what I mean? I definitely, feel for her, but I want to also, I want people to understand. It's just like I, I'm the that you want to see. I'm the girl that people are like, when you think of Femme Queen phase, I am that girl, and I have been that girl since day one. In all eras of ballroom, when I've come back, it's been like, oh my God, Leyna's in the room.
Listen, I still don't give a
Leyna is in the room and she's gonna walk. Like that's what I bring. You heard what Tati said. Oh, it was an earthquake. When I come
yeah.
into the room, it is literally a earthquake, and the girls are the tables is being shook because when Lola comes in the room, when you come into the room, when Amaya comes in the room, when Michelle comes into the room, when
Yeah.
Temperance comes in the room, the tables shake. Chanel, you ain't worked hard like that yet to get the tables to shake. Now you are.
Mm-hmm.
You had to figure it out. You had to. There's some girls that come out the womb and the sun is shining just on them because they have been chosen. And that is just a card. That's just the card that was dealt. You know what I mean? Like Nadia, when you come out,
It's just the femme queenness of it all, darling.
Nadia, when
It
you
just
come out for phase,
activates,
you
darling.
know what it feels like, girl. You
Femme queen
literally
power,
feel it from the
darling.
back.
It's femme queen power, darling.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, Chanel, you are that girl now, but you was not that girl before. It took you a while to get to that point. You know what I mean? You were stepping on your own 2 feet. And the thing is, when you in a house for the Butch Queens who love femme queens, who love femme queen power, they're going to go for the baddest that has the most power. And that's just, it is what it is. That's how Octavia got her moment. That's how Carmen got her moment. That's how Tracy got her moment. That's how Ajane and Tanae got their moment, because when they fucking walked in the fucking door, it was like, she's here. And I'm sorry, a lot of girls want to have that kind of life, but you have to work hard for that life. Some people are born with it and some people got to work for it. And that's just the world we live in. And it's don't get mad at me because I was born so effortlessly over, and and you have to work hard for that. And it's no shade. It's just facts at the end of the day, sis.
Right,
Like
right,
she's
right.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
She just needed a little bit more, just like AJ on the TV show is getting the training that he needs in the beginning. That's what she had to go through in the beginning. She had to find the right color. She had to find the right look. She had to know, is it a corset? Is it like a chiffon? Is it purple? Is it red? She didn't know. She was just trying to figure it out. And now she know. And now every time she comes out, it's a moment. And, for me, I come from the fashion world. I come from aesthetics. I'm streamlined. So I know what looks good on me. I know what people are looking for. I know what's in fashion right now. And I also know how to make a moment. A lot of girls don't know how to make a moment. That's why they get chopped. They think they are the moment, but they really got to come back harder next time. And it took her a while to get where she's at right now. And now she's reigning. She's the reigning, girl at the moment. For the big girl space. She's that girl right now, and she worked really hard for it, and she deserves it. And if I wasn't in the same house with her, I would love to battle her, to humble her.
And on that note, darling, episode number 2. Here we go.
She had an issue. I walked over and I handled the business. If you really think that Instagram has that power over follow or unfollow, then you're sad. And if I'm not feeling your then I'm not feeling your you are a non-factor. Brooklyn, she's a messy girl and she's also a follower. When somebody that is not a Beyonce in your house is literally trying to cause issues with your Beyonce, it should have been like, there was none. There were no others. I'm going to learn from a Butch Queen. I would never. These 2 girls that had issues with me cannot step out of ballroom and go into the rural and do what I'm doing. When I leave the ball, people give me my life. And it's not the same case for them because I know that I'm that girl. If a guy drops 5,000, he gets the girlfriend experience. You either choose me or you choose her. And if you're not going to choose me, then I'm leaving.